is now on.
And
Today is Thursday, January 11th. This is the Nickel Plate Review Committee. I'd like to call the meeting to order with a pledge of allegiance.
There's a very large.
There's 300 right now.
Up there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. George.
Here.
Ms. Davis.
Here.
Ms. Bowman.
Here.
Mr. Clark is not with us. We do have four.
Minutes from December 20th, 2023. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Can they hear us? Are our mics on?
so
That's what the noise was.
as long as it's not red, we should be fine. It looks to be red though, so maybe let me check that. And Rich is on.
Rich is on. Good.
Let me get him connected here. He's in the lobby. Yeah, thank you, Ross. Give me 1 second. Looks like-
Do you want me to-
Give me one. Yep, you should be good.
Okay.
Rich, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right.
Thank you, Rich.
All right.
The next item on the agenda is a continuation from our December 20th meeting to approve the site plan architecture for 3 multifamily buildings and 2 mixed-use buildings south of South Street, known as District South. Staff.
Thank you. A lot of these information is what we saw in December, so I do want to go over it, and then also show the new visuals the petitioner provided, which should be printout in front of you for close. Then I will turn it over to Shelby too, if there's anything that we missed. So as you mentioned, this is Nickel Plate Review Committee 23-6, District South. In total, we are around 3.36 acres south of South Street. You can see the combined lots right here, including the city property on the left. In total, this area is zoned VC Village Center. Adjacent property includes Town Center Residential, VC Village Center, and downtown core to the north. Here is one of those updated site plans, really stripped away any of the extra stuff, and so it's all really beautiful and green. As Jamie said, District South is a mixed-use development with 4 3-story buildings and 1 4-story building. These are labeled building 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Building 1 and 2 will be mixed-use residential. Building 3 will be office, and then building 4 and 5 will be residential. For context, the 4-story building is outlined here in blue, and the 3-story buildings are outlined here in red. The primary plat, secondary plat, and ILP has gone through the tax process starting back in October. Right-of-way and streetscape requirements have been reviewed through that process. I included a little icon on the corner of which buildings that we're talking about. So here's the elevation of the northeast building. This is a 3-story mixed-use building. Has a combination of masonry, hardy plank, cast stone, and aluminum. These are unchanged from December. Here's an isometric view that has been provided, which shows some context, modulations, window placements, the awnings, as well as the canopy to block HVAC on the roof. And I'll just go through these other buildings as well. Here's the northwest building, which will also be mixed use and residential. You'll see here the southwest building, which will be fully residential, as well as the southeast building, which will also be residential. So those are the 4 3-story buildings. They've included in the packet building A, B, B West, and building C. Those are the 4. We'll have a little bit of mixture of different masonry products, and then the lap siding. And then all buildings will have that cast stone base, the aluminum coping, and then aluminum visuals as well. So in the middle, we do have the 4-story building. Similar in nature to the other buildings, we'll have a mixture of brick, cement board, aluminum and metal coping. All sides of this building will be at least 50% masonry. Some sides have a larger amount as well. This is unchanged also from December, so here's a nice measured view. You can also see on the roof, the parapet wall, screen the HVAC, as well as several different building modulations. Kind of want to show, these are the new visuals that were provided that they put together. So I'm going to kind of walk through this. And is there anything that I missed, Shelby, please let me know. So this is a view if you were on South Street. The 4-story building is on the left, surrounded by those trees. And then one of the 3-story buildings is shown right there on the right. And we'll kind of walk through this. This is again, looking at that same direction. You can kind of see some monument gateway features shown there as you would enter and exit. Heavily landscaped. You can also see a lot of the canopies that will be along the building facades, the different colors of the buildings, as well as the balconies. As you move into this space, you'll see kind of that public plaza that would be connected from the trail. Lots of opportunities for people to interact. Proximity to South Street as well. You can kind of see those nice little twinkle lights that would be installed potentially along with lots of seating options, areas that people can interact with, collaborate both inside and outside. It should really be a nice place for the public to kind of interact with these potential retail units here. Here you can see kind of that outdoor patio area, fire pit. I believe there's also an outdoor like water feature as we walk up, which are really nice to kind of interact with as well. So those are the bulk of the changes that they provided. Staff has requested as part of this approval by condition to continue to work with staff along South Street to activate. Understanding that the parking garage is to the north, they've done a really great job, as you can see, is truly activating inside their site. I think there's just a little bit more room to work with on, pulling people off South Street and making it really feel like as you're driving down South Street and walking that you're part of this development. So we're comfortable to continue to work with Shelby and his team on that. Here you can see as an update from last month, the options of just transitioning the windows into kind of looks like storefronts to kind of continue to pull that activation in. We think this will set the stage for future development along South Street as well. With that, staff does recommend approval as presented with the following conditions. Like I said, to continue to work with staff on ways to activate South Street. All TAC comments, which they have been, are addressed. There are 4 waivers that are being requested tonight. These are the same as December. We have some waivers from our side setbacks. We have a maximum of 15 feet. We'd like those to be approved as presented. We do have a maximum height in VC of 3 stories or 42 feet. The building in the middle is proposed at 4 stories and 55 feet. You as the committee have that ability to grant that waiver for additional building height. And then we see this a lot. We do require 75% masonry on frontages facing the public right of way, 50% along all their sides. They've done a really good job of making sure this is a good mixture of materials. And as mentioned, all buildings will have at least 50%. So staff is supportive of that as well. And surface parking is not allowed by right in VC, but we do allow a waiver to be requested. And as you can see on the site plan, I think they've done a good job of integrating surface parking. Happy to answer any questions, and the commissioner is here as well.
Yeah, I'll just add 2 things. Ross, could you go back to the elevation of the small building? Because this was brought up, I think, in our previous meeting, and we kind of glossed over it because we had some other focus. On the back of all 4 buildings, you can see a brick inset that's designed for mural or artwork murals on all 4. We're probably, we plan to work with the city and the Arts Commission, I think, is that who we work through? And do the 2 that are facing west towards the trail first in conjunction with this project. And then if development occurs to the east of us, we could do the same here, but right now, and we're open to doing it sooner than later, but we have the ability to do 4 murals, 1 on each building, including the 2 facing the trail. The other thing is really kind of a cool feature, whether it's relevant here or not, I think it's fun to point out, is if you could go to the isometric of the large mixed-use building. On the fourth floor, we're doing this really cool fourth floor rooftop amenity. So that's a patio. Yeah, that has like these cool wing walls. So it looks like a wall, but the windows are open. And it's just a really neat, if you think about the outdoor experience there, because it'll be pavers and great furniture. And then our amenity spaces are adjacent to this patio. We've got a cafe and a work from home lounge up there for our residents. And it'll be something that's pretty cool and unique. And it's over 2,000 square feet, I think. I mean, it is a significant outdoor patio, kind of overlooking what's happening down in the plaza courtyard and including to the west to the trail. Couple things that I like about this project. And then finally, just want to thank our team, design team who's here, Bill and Carmen, our civil engineers, Alyssa, landscape architect and her team, and then Chris Hagan with Axis Architecture. So the team is here and they worked hard to try to turn this around for your consideration, and happy to answer any questions.
Shelby, that space that you're talking about is these kind of 4 windows.
Yeah, those are actually open air. And so it'll really be kind of a fun park shade, but really cool.
Yeah.
I think rooftop patio for the folks who live and work here in District South.
Just out of curiosity, so that'll be for residents and the businesses
That's-
to utilize?
Yes, if you live or work there, you have a fob and be able to go up and use both the amenity spaces and the outdoor patio. Of course, everything at surface level will be open for public
Sure.
amenities.
Yeah, I'm just gonna acknowledge Shelby, you and your team for these renderings. I think it just gives more realistic picture of what we're looking at, but we want to make sure if you guys have questions on the committee.
I have a few comments, questions. And one of them is for staff. Did we, gosh, I remember we went through this a few years ago with the handicap parking spaces. Handicap parking spaces now have to be concrete as opposed to the asphalt. We passed that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just didn't see it in there, but I wouldn't expect to see that in the renderings. I get it.
They're concrete.
Yeah, it's in the construction plans
Yeah.
for the renderings, candidly with the time, I mean, Alyssa and her team did everything they could, but yeah, it'll be done.
I 100% get it. Like I said, I just noticed it.
Yep.
Yep.
The next thing is, you know, one of the things, and this may be more for Parks and Rec, or I don't know if you can do it. One of the things I really like to see for this community is to say, hey, come in and visit with us, come in and sit with us, you know, especially off of the trail. And I think part of that can possibly be through those murals and things like that. But is there a possibility that maybe at the edge of the property, kind of where people can see it from the trail, that there be some type of wayfinding sign that says, hey, you know, cafe, whatever here, or, you know, retail shops this way, that really invite people in and says, hey, come in and be a part of our community type of
Yeah,
thing.
100% agree. And one of the things I love that Alyssa and her team did here at Landscape Architecture that we tried to do is the water feature. If you were walking and looking in between the buildings, you know, people want to go, they see fountain and features like a splash pad type water feature.
Yeah.
But the other thing we talked about, you know, we're still working with staff on what is this trail become?
Yeah.
It's worth more time than today, and we've got time, and so we can rethink that. But even Alyssa and I in our early discussions are like, it would be cool if there's right where it tees in to go into our neighborhood, that it was a very purposeful transition point where
Yes.
people would go, oh, I can go that way, or I can go this way.
Exactly.
And so we agree, because I want the same thing. I want people to come visit off the trail.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I just,
Pedestrian, kind of, they don't even know that they're being pulled in. All those things we're going to try to accomplish here.
yeah, or maybe it's a, you know, a bike rack on the outside, you know, a
Yes.
bike rack with some wayfinding sign,
Sure,
things like that kind of invite people in.
yeah,
And just I know you'll continue to work with staff. on
sure.
that. So,
I think that's important to you and your tenants within the buildings to have to remind people, oh yeah, there's something really cool here, right? So, so what is the connectivity between the nickel plate and here? We're just waiting on
It's really,
what's to come and the next plans to make sure we're doing it right, kind of what we were talking
It is,
about.
because and I'll just say, I'll give my opinion, Ross and staff may have, I think we're on the same page, but we've got time, first of all, so we've got plenty of time to effectuate this.
Absolutely.
We're still talking to adjacent property owners, and that could impact. And then, Alyssa and her team at Context and Ross and his staff is like, what do we want this trail to be? Is it an urban, or is it like an asphalt trail that goes to the nickel plate trail? Or is it a more purposeful, engaging kind of urban experience that connects into District South? And I know that we just haven't yet kind of gotten all the way there, and it's better to do nothing
Mm-hmm.
right now
Absolutely.
than to go, okay, let's just do this. And am I wrong in kind of how I've
I
categorized
think
that?
that's right, and I think the one benefit too, at Shelby's direction, is the city is to retain what's called Lot 4 on this development. So if you're looking at it from a plot perspective, these are different lot lines than what is on there now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that, what is to remain of that old park parcel.
Yeah.
Which gives us too, as the city, some additional like teeth into it, so we can, again,
Yeah.
like Shelby said, make it what we want. As you can kind of see here, we have a little bit of room to get over there, so, we've had contemplations about, do we do a crossing here to get you across, temporarily now? Obviously, the best benefit would continue this trail along South Street here all the way on the south side. But we have some other tenants, or property owners to work with, so
Mm-hmm.
the end goal here is for these users, they're gonna to be here to be connected to the trail, and I think
Right.
we'll accomplish that.
Yeah, we have money in our budget to do the trail improvements. Now, to what level, TBD, but the basic, let's just say, okay, right now, we're still gonna make sure it's safe and asphalt and all the things. We're prepared to do that, so this isn't like a second project. This will happen in conjunction with this, because we want it delivered with District South when we cut the ribbon in the spring of 25. But we just all have agreed, like, let's try to get more info, really define what is the next version of development and how does this trail
Yeah.
interact.
A lot can change
versus
between
just
now and
getting
then.
from here to there.
Right. Yeah.
And so that, I think, is the reason you're not seeing anything yet.
Okay.
As of now, this continues down to Cheney Creek, right? So we want to make sure that what's established and those residents who had to travel for continue to have that, so.
Yeah, it gets used.
It is used a lot. I'm
I'm
there all the
excited
time. And
about the opportunity for folks to connect from both trails here.
Yeah.
At this project.
Any other questions?
Motion to approve?
Okay, can I get a motion to approve, site plan architecture for the 3 multifamily buildings and 2 mixed-use buildings south of South Street, known as District South, with the 2 conditions and 4 waivers as presented?
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is
Rich, was that an aye?
Yes, I was aye. Yep, sorry.
the next item on the agenda is finished business. Next item, any old business? Any new business?
No.
Staff communications.
Yes. We do not have any other items, so we will be canceling the January 24th meeting. We potentially will see you in February. We can check that off and you guys know that you'll be back.
I get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thanks, Rich.
I'm a little
Thank
younger
you.
than that.
Bye-bye.
I was on vacation last time, so I missed the whole thing.